श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः। हरि ओम्। वक्रतुण्डमहाकाय सूर्यकोटिसमप्रभा निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देव सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा। गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णु गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुः साक्षात् तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। गुरवे सर्वलोकानां भिषवपुरोगिणां यथे सर्वविद्यानां श्रीदक्षिणामूर्ते नमः। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। नमो धर्माय वदे नमः कृष्णाय वेदसे ब्राह्मणेभ्यो नमस्कृत्य धर्मान् वक्ष्यामि शाश्वताम्। ओं नमो भगवते तस्मै व्यासाय देशदेशस्य प्रसादात् वक्ष्यामि नारायणकृतां ममां श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमः भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करम्. So we were looking at in the Karna Parva, Pandavas and Kauravas battling, and on the 16th day battle comes to conclusion. End of the day, Pandavas consider themselves as victorious on the day, even though they lost. Pandya, Kauravas side, Arjuna destroyed large number of Samshaptakas and others he destroyed, and that's what we looked at. So Dhritarashtra, listening to this, he says that it seems that Arjuna slew all of you at his will. He just killed everybody among you in that battlefield. Indeed, like a destroyer himself, he was in that battlefield. Probably he was battling and he was destroying everybody. He was battling like that probably. So if Arjuna took up the arm against him, that destroyer himself, he probably will be victorious. He was battling like that. That Partha, Arjuna, he single-handedly he ravished Bhadra, that is Subhadra. He took Subhadra single-handedly. He took her from Dwaraka, and he single-handedly gratified Agni through Kandava, burning of Kandava forest, and then he single-handedly he subjugated the whole earth ahead of Yudhishthira's Rajasuya sacrifice, right? And then he made all the kings pay tribute at that time. And he single-handedly, with his celestial bow, Gandiva, he slew the Nivata Kavachas as a Guru Dakshina to Indra. And then he single-handedly, he contended in battle with Mahadeva, who stood before him in the guise of a hunter. So Shankara himself, he had a battle with Arjuna, and Arjuna single-handedly went against Mahadeva. And Arjuna single-handed, he protected the Bharatas. And single-handed, he gratified Shiva himself. Single-handed, he conquered, he vanquished him by him all the kings of the earth who had great prowess and fierce prowess in them. He defeated all of them. And the Kurus cannot be blamed. Dhritarashtra says that Arjuna is such a person. Kurus cannot be blamed. On the other hand, they deserve praise for having a fight with such a warrior. So Dhritarashtra now kind of thinking. He says that Arjuna is such a person. He kind of finally realized Arjuna is such a person. We cannot blame her. So it is like after losing a match or something like that in sports. So we say that, right? We did everything, right? They are better team. This is what Dhritarashtra is kind of telling to Sanjaya now. He is saying that the Kurus cannot be blamed, but they should be praised for having fought such a great warrior like Arjuna. Tell me now what they did. Tell me also, Sanjaya, what Duryodhana did after that. So after that 16-day battle, what did Duryodhana do? Tell me all that. What happened? Tell me all that. So Dhritarashtra asks Sanjaya like this. So Sanjaya continues his narration. He says that struck and wounded and overthrown from their chariots and their vehicles, divested of their armor, deprived of their weapons and their beasts, all killed with plaintive voice and burning with grief and vanquished by the enemies, the vein of Kauravas entering their tents once more. Once they entered their tents like that, they were divested of their weapons, chariots, their elephants, horses, whatever it is. They were wounded everywhere, all over their body. They finally returned to their tents and they took counsel of one another what to do. how to get over this, how to overcome this Pandavas and the Panchalas and everybody that's attacking us, how to overcome. Like this, they started talking one another. Then they looked like a snakes deprived of their fangs and poison trod upon by others. So snakes with poison, with their fangs, what they do, if they if somebody steps on them, they bite them. But these are the snakes now. Their fangs have been removed, poison has been taken away, and if somebody steps on them, all they can do is cry, right? So that's the situation. The pain, I experienced that pain and nothing they can do. They are in that situation. Kauravas were in that situation. Sanjay says that to them, Karna says that he was sighing very like an angry snake, squeezing his hands. He was very angry and eyeing, looking at Duryodhana. He says that Arjuna is always very careful, firm, possessed in the skill, and endued with great intelligence. Again, when the time comes, Krishna always awakes him. So Krishna always tells him what should be done. Today, by that sudden shower of weapons, we were deceived by him. Tomorrow, however, O Duryodhana, I will frustrate all his purposes. Whatever he is trying to achieve tomorrow, I'm going to frustrate him. Like this Karna says. So Karna again says that whatever Arjuna is very skilled, he's firm, he's possessed of skills, he's intelligence and everything. But if he is about to get into danger or Pandava is about to get into danger, then there is Krishna. He always reminds him what should be done and where he should go, what should he do. All those things Krishna reminds. That's why Arjuna is getting upper hand and he did that shower of weapons on us today. But tomorrow I'm not going to let him do that. Like this, Karna tells Duryodhana, because Karna is now the commander, right? Then Duryodhana responds saying that so be it, okay. And then he granted permission to all the kings to retire to their tents and take rest. And when Duryodhana says that, all of them proceeded to their respective tents, having passed their nights happily, and they cheerfully went out to battle again on the next day on the 17th. Then they saw an invincible array was formed, a view house found by Yudhishthira with great care according to the sanctions or the methods of Brahaspati and Shukra himself. So Brahaspati and Shukracharya, whatever the methods they use in forming this kind of arrays, such a method was employed by Yudhishthira in that morning. So he was prepared, and he was prepared for that battle by forming that. Then Duryodhana called to mind, he thinks about Karna. He thinks about that Karna, he thinks that Karna is equal to Indra himself in the battle, and he is equal to Maruta, Vayu himself in the strength, and Kartavira in energy. He thinks about that, and indeed, the Duryodhana's heart, he turned to Karna, and he goes to Karna and says that he goes towards Karna. So listening to this, Dhritarashtra asked, what did Duryodhana next do? When the hearts of all you turned towards Karna's at that time, what did my troops cast? What did they do? And when they were all looking up to Karna to do something, what did Duryodhana do? And when that battle was commenced again on that day after withdrawing in the previous night, what did Surya's son Karna do? How did he fight? And how also did Pandavas fight Karna? The mighty armed Karna would single-handedly kill the Pandavas with the Srinjayas, with the Panchalas and everybody. He would have killed it. The might of Karna's arms in that battle equals to Indra or Vishnu himself. The weapons are fierce. The prowess also of Karna is fierce. Relying upon Karna, Duryodhana had set his heart in this battle. So, seeing Duryodhana deeply afflicted by the sons of Pandu, and seeing also the sons of Pandu displaying great prowess, What did the great Maharati Karna do in that battlefield? Oh, alas, the foolish Duryodhana, depending upon then now Dhritarashtra started kind of thinking about what the situation is going to be. He says that, alas, oh, the foolish Duryodhana, relying upon Karna, he thinks about defeating the Pandavas in the battlefield. It's a matter of great grief that Karna could not, with his strength, overcome the sons of Pandu in the fight. And without doubt, destiny is supreme. The terrible end of that gambling match has now come. These heartbreaking sorrows due to Duryodhana's actions, many in number, and like unto terrible arrows, are now being borne by me. I have to endure all these terrible grief that's coming because of Duryodhana's actions. Shakuni used to be then regarded as a political person. He was very making a lot of policies and talking about all those things. Karna also always exceedingly attached to King Duryodhana. And when such is the case, why I have then to hear the frequent defeats and deaths of my sons? Why I have to hear all these things, Sanjaya? There is no one that can resist Pandavas in battle. They penetrate into my army like a man in the middle of helpless women. They are penetrating like that. Destiny definitely is the supreme one. Otherwise, how could have we been defeated like this? So, like this, Dhritarashtra asks about what's happening, and also he thinks he knows what's going to happen, so he grieves for that as well. He laments for those upcoming things and the things he had to endure in this battle. Sanjaya says, responds to him saying that, "O king, think of all those wrongful actions you did, like the match of dice and the other actions you did to Pandavas. And you did all those things one should never do to anybody, but you did all those things to Pandavas." One then Sanjay says that one should not, however, reflect on the bygone actions because one may be ruined by such reflections. Because if you keep thinking about what you did previously and the results of that, you will be ruined because of those reflections. That result which you had expected is now much removed from the point of fruition, since although possessed of the knowledge, you did not reflect on the propriety and impropriety, whatever is good and bad of those actions then. Many people gave you counsels against warring with the Pandavas, but you did not accept those counsels from the folly. You thought you were going to defeat the Pandavas and have the entire kingdom for your son. Diverse sinful actions of grave nature were perpetuated by perpetuated by you against the Pandavas, and those acts or this awful slaughter has come to you because of that. So do not grieve. Listen now in detail what the carnage took place, how the carnage took place. Listen to all this like this, Sanjaya. As usual, whenever Dhritarashtra blames Duryodhana, Sanjaya scolds him back, saying that it is all your fault. You did not listen to what wise Vidura had to say, what Bhishma had to say, what Drona, Narada, Parashurama, and many other Rishi, Munis, everybody had to say. You did not listen to any of that. Now it is all because of you. But don't grieve. Listen, just listen. He kind of says that, and then he continues his narration. He says that when the night dawned, Karna, when the morning happens, Karna goes to Duryodhana and approaching him, he says that I will engage in battle today with that great son of Pandu, that is Arjuna. Either I will kill that hero today or he will kill me. That's what's going to happen. We are not going to escape. Okay. In consequence of diverse things, both myself and Arjuna had to do an encounter that could not take up to now. That did not happen. So because of various reasons, we could not have a single combat. Okay, we could not come face to face in long term for proper battle between Arjuna and me up to now. Initially I avoided whatever it is. Now things keeps happening and we keep avoiding each other, but it's not going to be the case anymore. Listen to now the words of what I'm going to say according to my wisdom. Without killing Arjuna in the battle, I will not come back. Since this army of ours has been deprived of many great warriors. Since I stand in the battle, Partha will definitely advance against me. Now, many of the great warriors on my side has been defeated or killed. I am the one standing. Arjuna definitely will come against me because he was going after all those Samshaptakas and everything. That's all clear now. So he's definitely coming after me now. So especially because I do not have that Indra's arrow with me now because I used that against Gatotkacha, and he knows that he was previously avoiding me now. He was previously avoiding me, but now he doesn't have to. So he will definitely come after. So that's why listen to what I'm going to tell you. That is beneficial for us. Listen to carefully. So Karna starts with this uh, kind of a background and why he is here in the early morning. And he says that the energy of my celestial weapons is equal to Arjuna's weapon. There is no question. Whatever Arjuna has weapons, I have all those things. I can counteract. And in counteracting the achievements and of the powerful enemies, in lightness of hands, in range of arrow shot, how far I can shoot and how strong I can shoot, in skill in hitting the mark, Savvesachi, Arjuna is never equal to me. Okay, these are all Karna's words. He says that in counteracting the enemy, okay, if enemy releases an arrow or whatever the weapon, counteracting that, and in lightness of hands, in how quickly I release weapon, and in range of arrow shot, how far I can shoot, okay, and in skill, and in hitting the mark, in hitting the target. Arjuna is never equal to me. And then in physical strength, in courage, in knowledge of weapons, in prowess of aiming, Sabyasachi is never equal to me. So Arjuna is never equal to me in those things. In physical strength or courage or knowledge of weapons or in prowess of aiming, he is never equal. My bow is called Vijaya. I have a bow called Vijaya, which is the best among all the weapons of its kind. Among all the bows, it is the best. And desirous doing what is agreeable to Indra, it was made by Vishwakarman previously for Indra. Vishwakarma made this bow. And with that bow, Indra had defeated all the Daityas. Its twangs, Daityas saw 10 points of empty. So when that twang was made, Daityas were running away from all the directions. That bow, respected by all, Indra gave it to Bhrugu's son Parashurama, and that celestial and foremost of the bows, Bhrugu's son gave it to me. Parashurama gave it to me. I have that Vijaya bow. And that bow, with that bow, I will contend in the battle with that mighty armed Arjuna. I will face that Arjuna today. That with that great bow I have in my hand, I will face Arjuna. And like Indra fighting the assembled Daityas, I will fight him. And that bow, the gift of Parashurama, is superior to Gandiva. So again, if you are thinking Arjuna also has a similar celestial bow, I will tell you the Vijaya bow I hold on my hand is superior to Gandiva, which Arjuna holds. It was with that bow the earth was subjugated 7 times, so thrice 7 times. So Parashurama went around the earth 21 times, killing the Kshatriyas with that bow. And with that bow given to me by Rama, I will contend in the battle Arjuna. So I will Duryodhana, oh Duryodhana, I will gladden you today with your friends by killing in the battle that hero, that is Arjuna. I will kill him today. The whole earth with their mountains, forest, islands, without a heroic warrior to oppose your wish, will become yours today after I kill Arjuna. So which yourself with your sons and grandsons will rule that supremely forever. So that will become the case by end of day today. Today, there is nothing that is incapable of being achieved by me, especially when the object is to do what is agreeable to you. Even as the success incapable of being misled by the ascetics devoted to virtue and having soul under control, just like the rishis who are under control, for them achieving virtue is not impossible. Just like that, the object that is killing of Arjuna is not impossible for me. and Arjuna will not be able to bear me in the battle today. And I must, however, declare to you what respect I am inferior to Arjuna. So Karna says here, he told Duryodhana about everything, saying that I am strong, I am good aim, I am very powerful, and I have all the weapons. I have a bow as well, which is better than Gandiva. All these things he said, but he says, I will also tell you, in one respect, I am inferior to Arjuna. So I am in something, I am inferior to Arjuna. He says that the string of bow is celestial, I have, right? The bow I have is celestial, and the two large quivers of Arjuna are inexhaustible. So the quivers he has, he doesn't have to carry carts and carts loads of arrows with him, because the two quivers he has on his back, the arrows from that keeps coming, right? He doesn't have to take another cart and refill and things like that. His tank is always full, right? That's the benefit here. And the inferior thing, one more inferior thing I have is his charioteer is Govinda, and I have none like him. So if you don't have the quivers that with inexhaustible arrows, you can always supply. Okay, always arrows can be supplied to where Karna is. The bow is a match or better than Arjuna. But Arjuna has Govinda as his charioteer, his driver. I have none like him. Karna says that I don't have one like him. That's my problem. And his is that celestial and great bow called Gandiva, which is, there is no talk about this, there is no comparison to that in the battle. I also have that excellent celestial formidable bow called Vijaya in respect of our bows. Therefore, I am superior to Arjuna. Now, listen to those matter in which Arjuna is superior to me. Okay. The holder of the reins of his horses is he of that Dashara's race, that is, that Yadava race, who is adored by all in this world. And his celestial chariot decked with gold given unto him by Agni, that is impenetrable with every part. You cannot do that. And his horses as well. Those are Arjuna's are great things. And they are endued, those horses are endued with speed of a mind. If you think about going somewhere, those horses will take you there. And his celestial standard bearing the blazing ape is exceedingly wonderful. Okay, Karna is giving a honest opinion of where he thinks Arjuna has better things, where he has better things. Okay, some of them which he calls as better things in himself are questionable, but he considers them as better things. Okay, but he does call out Krishna is superior, and I don't have that. And he has got those quivers, I don't have that. And he has that chariot which is given by Agni, that cannot be penetrated and that cannot be destroyed. But my chariot can be destroyed. And his horses as well. They go wherever he thinks of going, they take him. And his banner, his standard he's got, the flag he's got, is that ape, that Hanuman, the monkey, that's there. That's exceedingly wonderful again. And then again, Krishna, who is the creator of this universe, protects his chariot, protects him. Though inferior to Arjuna, though inferior to Arjuna in every respect of all these things, I still desire to fight him. That's Karna. So Karna says that even though I know that I'm inferior to Arjuna in some of these things, I still fight him because I am stronger and I know all the weapons and things. So he says that. Now Karna says that this Shalya, the Shalya here, he is the ornament of all the assemblies and he is equal to Krishna himself, Govinda himself. If he becomes my charioteer, my driver, victory will certainly be yours. So let Shalya therefore be the driver for my car, my chariot. Let a large number of carts bearing long arrows and those that are winged with vulture and feathers be following me. let a number of foremost of chariots with excellent horses yoked onto them, and they always follow me. So by these arrangements, I will, as regards to qualities mentioned, be superior to Arjuna. So if you do that, because quivers, I want the cards. So again, Karna is comparing. Okay, so the Arjuna has got these things in extra. Like for example, he got quivers, he got Govinda as his things, and he got a chariot which cannot be penetrated. Okay, so what I want to do for that quivers in exhaustive quivers, I want cards full of multiple cards, a large number of cards. Okay, bullock cards carrying my long arrows with vulture and feathers. So I will have continuous supply of arrows whenever I need. So I don't run out of arrows. That's one thing. That's now quivers part is equal started. Next, in terms of chariot, I need to have a lot of good chariots continuously following me with excellent horses. Okay, so if my chariot breaks down, I can jump out to the another one. So that's sorted. Now the last thing is the driver itself, charioteer itself, the one who controls the horses. Okay, there is Govinda on the other side. Here I want Shalya. He is the best. He is the best among all this. I want him. If you do that, then I will be superior to Arjuna, because in terms of strength, aiming, distance hitting, all those things I am superior. Okay. I had these weaknesses. If you make them better, then I am fine. Right? So this is, I mean, in management terms, there is something called SWOT analysis: strength, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. Okay. So you look at business language, you look at what are your strengths, what are your weaknesses, what are your opportunities, and what are threats that's coming. Okay, so strengths, you leverage them up. Weaknesses, you try to mitigate them, and threats, again, you try to avoid and do things like that. Okay, Karna does the similar thing. He looks at what are his strengths, what are his weaknesses, and what he does is weaknesses, he tries to overcome them by doing something before he gets into that battlefield. He wants to do something so that he goes on the equal footing or even better. Okay, he enters that battlefield on a better footing than Arjuna. So then his victory is going to be guaranteed. So that's what he's doing. And he says that Shalya is superior to Krishna and I am superior to Arjuna. And Krishna is acquainted with the horse lore. He knows about the horses. Okay. Even so, this Shalya is acquainted with the horse lore. There is none equal to this Madra chief Shalya in the might of arms. There is nobody equal, and there is none equal to myself in the weapons. So there is none equal to Shalya in the knowledge of horses. So circumstance, I will become superior to Arjuna. Okay. So comparing all this, so Shalya is equal to Krishna. I am equal, superior than Arjuna. Okay. So when you compare that, overall, our strength will be superior to Arjuna. Against my chariot, even the Devatas with Indra at their head will not dare to advance with that Shalya as my charioteer. All these things being attended to, when I take my stand on my car, I will become superior to Arjuna. And so he says that I desire all this to be done by you. You do all this, and then I will get you the victory. Let these wishes of mine be accomplished. So make sure that these my wishes are accomplished. If all this accomplished, the most effective aid will be rendered to me on the very desirable point. So if you do this, I will definitely do it. Because I already said I will not come back without victory today, without killing Arjuna today. Either he will kill or I will die. You will then, I don't want to die. That's why I'm asking all these things. So you will then see what I will achieve in the battle. So like this, he says, ask these things from Duryodhana in the morning when all the kings were assembling and ready to go out. He asked Karna that. When he addresses like that, Duryodhana praises Karna and worships him, and he says that with glad heart. He says that he orders, saying that accomplish all that, Karna, which you think. I will accomplish all those things which you think you want, equipped with goodly quivers and horses, such chariots shall follow you in the battle, with carrying the large number of long arrows equipped with vulture and feathers. I will make sure that they follow you in the battlefield wherever you go. They will follow you, those arrows. So he says that. Then Sanjay says that having said those things to Karna, Duryodhana then turns to Shalya and addresses him, saying that humbly approaching Shalya, he addresses him with affection, and he says that he talks very nicely because Shalya is needed for him to do some dirty work. So he talks to Shalya very, very, very nicely. He uses all the adjectives to describe Shalya, how great he is. He says that, "Oh, you of true woes, you are the one who always keep your woes," which is true because Shalya promised that he will help Duryodhana and he is there even though his nephews are fighting on the other side, right? And he says that, "Oh, you of great fortune, oh, enhancer of the sorrows of the enemies, so, oh, ruler of the Madra, oh, hero in the battle, oh, that you inspire hostile troops with fear. You have heard how for the sake of Karna who spoke unto me. Karna, how did Karna spoke to me? You heard all those things, and I myself am desirous of soliciting, seeking you among all these kings. I'm seeking you for the destruction of the enemy. I solicit you today with humility, and I bow my head to you. With humility, I bow to you, and I seek these things from you. Therefore, for destruction of Arjuna and for my good, you should accept from love the office of the charioteer today. So you should accept that. With you as the driver, Karna will kill Arjuna. There is none else holding the reins of the Karna's horse except you. You are that equal to Vasudeva himself. Protect Karna then by every means, like Brahma protecting Maheshwara. So he says Brahma protecting Maheshwara. We will see that a little bit later in the story when Brahma became the charioteer for Maheshwara himself. And even just like Krishna protects every means Arjuna from all the dangers, you protect this Radha's son today, Radheya today, protect him. Bhishma, Drona, Krupa, yourself, and all the great rulers, and this Boja's ruler, that is Kritavarman, Shakuni, and Drona's son Ashwatthama, and myself, constituted the chief strength of our army. Even then, we have divided amongst ourselves the enemies in a portion as a share among each of us, right? So Duryodhana now reminding Shalya, saying that Bhishma, Drona, Krupa, yourself, Shalya, Kritavarman, Shakuni, Ashwatthama, and myself, we all divided the enemy share amongst ourselves, saying that we need to kill X number of people. That's what the share we had, right? So if you remember Bhishma, for example, he said he will every day kill 10,000 warriors, right? And he achieved that. So for 10 days he did that. So Duryodhana reminds him saying that we all had each had a share. The share that was allocated to Bhishma is now no more. As to that also, with the Drona also, whatever has been allocated. Going even beyond their allocated shares, those two killed my enemies. Okay, so even though they said they had some allocation of X number of warriors on their list, they went beyond that. Okay, they overachieved. Okay, so they get 5 stars for that. Now, those two have been killed decisively by the Pandavas. Having achieved those great things, they have along with them, many warriors on our side also have attained heaven. So their strengths have been put in place and they have still attained heaven. This this army of mine, great portion has been slaughtered, even though Pandavas were very smaller number compared to us at the beginning. Okay, now he's now Duryodhana talking like we have less number compared to Pandavas, even though we were significantly higher number, 11 Akshoni versus their 7, right? So now we are in that danger. So by the might and strength of that Arjuna, we are being exterminated. By this remaining troops are going to be exterminated by Arjuna if he stays on the battlefield without opposed for one more day. The Pandavas in the battle have killed many brave warriors on my force. Karna alone is devoted to our good, and he is the one who can do it. Karna wishes to contend Arjuna today in the battle, and if my hopes of victory are great, therefore nobody else in this world save you that can make this good holding the reins of Karna's chariot. So Krishna is the best, foremost of all the holders of the reins for Partha in the battle. Even so, you are the foremost of all the holders of the reins for Karna's chariot. Accompanied and protected by him in the battle, the Arjuna defeat that Arjuna achieves are all before you. So when you do that, you can achieve those things. Previously, Arjuna had never killed enemy in the battle such a way. Now, however, his prowess has become great, united with Krishna. So even though Arjuna was great previously in the battlefield, he never was able to kill people like that in this what he's doing now in the battle. So why he's doing that? That's because of Krishna. Day after day, this vast Kaurava force has been routed by Arjuna because he's united with Krishna. A portion that was allocated of the share that allocated to Karna and yourself that remains still. So there is still a portion that's allocated to Karna and you still remains open. You have not achieved your targets. So this is kind of telling them that as a kind of a performance review. Duryodhana says, Bhishma, Drona, they achieved excellent, more than what they were supposed to do. You two have not achieved, but united together, you can do it today. Okay, so even just like Surya uniting with Aruna destroys the darkness, just like with Karna, you kill the Arjuna today, you kill Arjuna today in the battlefield. So like this, Duryodhana tells, and he also says that in the clash of the battle, again, nobody is equal to you. And Krishna protects Arjuna under all the circumstances, just like that you also need to protect Karna in the battle. With you as the driver, Karna will become invincible in the battlefield. Even if Indra comes in front of you, what need to worry about Pandavas? So do not doubt my words. So please help me in this situation. So like this, he says, hearing this words of Duryodhana, Shalya becomes filled with rage. He becomes very angry. Contracting his brows into three lines, he becomes very angry. His forehead, the brows, eyebrows, everything becomes three lines here, contracting, waving his arms repeatedly, rolling his large eye red in anger. He was proud of his lineage, his wealth and knowledge and strength. He was very proud. Shalya says that responds to angrily to Duryodhana. He says that you insult me, O Gandhari's son, you insult me, or without doubt you suspect me, since you solicit me without hesitation, saying that act as a driver. So imagine you are very rich man, and there is another rich man, and suddenly says that today can you become his driver, okay, car driver. So just like that, why you are asking me? Shalya is becoming very angry. And regarding Karna to be superior to ourselves, you applaud him. So again, this is another thing, right? So there are multiple reasons why Shalya become angry. One is he himself is very proud of his birth, his wealth, his knowledge, his strength, and everything. Instead of asking him to go and battle and destroy the Pandavas, Duryodhana is asking him to become the charioteer of Karna. That means Karna is superior, you become his charioteer. Okay? So that's what it is. So he's saying that you think Karna is superior and you do not regard. However, Shalya says that, however, I do not see this Karna as equal to me in the battlefield. So assign me much greater share. You talked about the share of each of the warriors here. Give me more share. Okay. and destroying the battle, I will return to the place I come from. I will go back to Madras after destroying all the finishing off my share. I will go back single-handedly. I will do it. I don't want anybody to come with me. I will go, and you will see my prowess today. Like this, Shalya says. And do not have your doubts about me. If you are thinking that I am not battling those people because my nephews are on the other side, do not doubt me like that. Never should you humiliate me in the battle like this. See my massive arms of mine looking like a thunder here. I'm going to uh, go and have that battle. And also my mace decked with gold and twined with hemp and cords. Look at this. Filled with anger, I can split this earth and scatter the mountains and dry up the oceans with my energy. And knowing to be so capable of afflicting the enemies, why do you appoint me as a driver for such a low-born person, Adhiratha's son? So this is the second reason. Okay, so why shall I become very angry? One, he himself is capable of destroying the Pandavas, but Duryodhana did not ask him. Okay. The second thing, he asked him to become a charioteer of whom? He asked him to become a charioteer of a low-born person, Suta. Okay. Of that is Adhiratha's son, Karna. Not somebody, a Kshatriya. He did not ask him to become a charioteer of a Kshatriya. He asked him to become a charioteer of a low-born person. So that's why he says that uh, you should not be insulting me like that. He says that the one who causes his superior person arrived at his own will and obedient from love to yield to a sinful wit certainly incurs the sin. So of confusing the superior with the inferior. So if you are confusing me as an inferior person and assigning me to such a low task, okay, you are insulting me and you will incur this sin because you did not recognize my superiority. And then Shalya explains that Bhagavan Brahma created Brahmanas from his mouth, Kshatriyas from his arms, and he created Vaishyas from his thighs and Shudras from his feet. Okay, Brahmanosya Kamasit, Bahu Rajanyakrita, so Rigveda. So that's what Shalya says here. So Brahmanas were created from mouth, Kshatriyas from his arms, and Vaishyas from his thighs, and Shudras from his feet. And in consequence of intermixture of these four varnas, from those four have sprung particular classes. For example, those born with men of superior varnas wedding to the women of lower varnas, inferior varnas themselves, and vice versa. Okay, so this intermixture, varna sankara, has resulted in these specific classes like the of this Karna Suta class. Okay, the Kshatriyas have been described to be protector of other classes, other varnas, and acquirers of the wealth and giver of the same. They acquire wealth, they give wealth, they are the protectors of all the other three varnas. And Brahmanas have been established on the earth for the sake of performing and for favoring its people by assisting in the sacrifices, by teaching and acceptance of the pure gifts. Again, important here, pure gifts. Okay, what is pure gift? So teaching is fine. Okay, and assisting at the sacrifices is fine. What is pure gift? Accepting the pure gifts. So acceptance, Brahmanas should accept the pure gifts. So pure gift is something one gives which is earned honestly as per the Shastra, but is allowed to be earned. So if you rob somebody and saying that I'm going to gift it to somebody, that's not true. If you take bribe, okay, and then a 10% of that I'm going to put in the hundi of a temple, that is bribe. That is not pure gift. Or I'm going to give that to a Brahmana, that is bribe. That is not the pure gift. Okay, that's why Brahmanas, when accepting the gift, they have to be very careful whom they accept from. They should know the source of those gifts, how the person earned. Normally, learned people, Brahmanas, they do not accept gifts from everybody for that reason. They accept only from those whom they know personally, they will accept. Just going anybody's home and assisting them with their sacrifices, or accepting the gift and all those things are not normal. But that happens these days, which is a different story. Okay, so but Brahmanas, Shalya says that they are established in assisting the others in the sacrifices and teaching. That is again uh, study, teaching. They should study and they should teach, and they should perform sacrifices and then assist others in the sacrifice. They should accept these gifts, danas, and then also give danas. Whatever they get, give danas. So again, Brahmana, if he accepts a dana and then immediately gives away that dana to somebody else, he gets 10 times the merit of that dana immediately if he gives away. So accepting, and so there are 6 duties of Brahmanas. Okay, so studying himself and then teaching, and then performing the sacrifices himself and assisting the others, and that can becoming a priest. Okay, again, priest. Not everybody is priest. Okay, which is there is a different name for that. So which becomes a kind of a village priest type of title. So which is not right. And then the next one is uh, dana, accepting and giving. So then, so Kshatriyas are the protectors and the wealth acquirers and givers of the wealth. Brahmanas are this, and then Vaishyas, their duty is agriculture and tending the looking after the cattle, and gifts are the occupations of the Vaishyas. Okay, so they also need to do the danas according to the Shastras. And Shudras have been ordained to be servants of the Brahmanas, the Kshatriyas, and the Vaishyas. So Shudra's duty is to serve the other 3. Similarly, Sutas are the servants of Kshatriyas. So Shalya is coming to the point. Why did he talk about how the Brahmanas were created from Brahma's mouth, Kshatriyas from his arms, or their duties and things like that? The reason he is explaining to Duryodhana is because he is saying that Sutas are the servants of the Kshatriyas and not Kshatriyas are the servants of the Sutas. Listen to these my words, and as regards to myself, I am one who has my hairs have undergone the sacred bath. So that means if you have performed a sacrifice or a great home or something like that, at the end of that there is a abhisheka. Okay, the kalasha abhisheka that's done. Okay, so that abhisheka, my hairs have gone through those sacred bath. So that means I have performed many sacrifices. Okay, I am born in a race of Raja Rishis. I am born in that. I am reckoned as a great Maharati. I am reckoned as a Maharati. Everybody agrees that I am a Maharati. I deserve the worship and praises and bards and eulogists render and sing all those things, praises that should come my way. Being all this, I cannot go to an extent of acting as a driver of the Suta's son in the battlefield. That's the Shalya's words. So I will never fight according to undergoing an act of humiliation. So I will not go to the battlefield if it humiliates me. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go back to my home. I'm going to go back to return to Madras. Give me permission. So Shalya says that you are insulting me. I'm going back. Give me permission to go back. The reason why, if Shalya is so strong, why he is asking permission from Duryodhana? The reason he is asking for permission because he has given a promise to Duryodhana that he will fight on his behalf. He cannot go on his own because he has given that promise. Till this battle finishes, Shalya has to stay here and he has to fight. The only way he can go back is either as a dead or he can go back if Duryodhana gives him the permission saying that you can go. That's why he's asking for the permission. So even though he's strong, he has given his word. So all these little things are important because even though Shalya is so angry, he just did not drop there saying that I'm going, don't care about you. He made his point saying that I cannot be the charioteer of the Suta's son. I am strong myself. Give me the entire share. I will do myself. I will do all that. Okay. But also he remembers his promise. His one thing, that promise he made to Duryodhana, that he will fight for him. Right? That's why he's saying that he did not say, I will go on my own, don't care about you. He said that, give me permission, I will go back my home. So when Shalya said all these things angrily, Duryodhana, Shalya stood up in that angrily, and Duryodhana, with affection, with great regard, he addresses with sweet and conciliatory words, he addresses Shalya. He says that, without doubt, O Shalya, even as you say, you have said, whatever you said is true. But I have a certain purpose in my view. Listen to me. Karna is not superior to you, nor do I suspect you. I don't suspect you. Or I'm not saying that Karna is superior to you. So if there are two problems, right? One is Karna is superior. You think, Duryodhana, you think that Karna is superior to me. And the second thing, you are asking me to become the charioteer of a Suta's son. So Duryodhana is addressing the first one, saying that, don't worry, you are superior to Karna. I am not saying that Karna is superior to you. So the first part is gone. So Karna, in front of Karna, Duryodhana says that to get his things done, he is now talking very nicely, saying that all along he was saying Karna is the best among all everybody. But now he says that Karna is not superior to you because he wants Shalya's favor. Okay, so he's talking nicely, and he knows that Karna is not going to get angry because Karna is his friend. And even if Karna gets angry, he can tell him to be quiet because he is his friend and Karna will listen. Okay, but Shalya is not like that. So that's why he's making Karna as a inferior one to Shalya. So he agrees with, he tells Shalya that Karna is not superior to you, or I do not suspect you as well. And this will, I will never do which is false. Your ancestors also were great. So those foremost of men that were your ancestors always told the truth as well. And I am also not going to tell an untruth. So again, Duryodhana uses the ancestor. Again, if you think about making somebody happy, what do? You go and tell how great your father is, how great your mother is, how grandfather is. Talk about their family, how great their family is. Suddenly, people fall in love with you. Okay, this is what happens when, I'm just going off track. If you go, for example, Bali's sacrifice where Vamana comes, Vamana talks nicely to Bali about his father's father, Prahlada, Hiranyakashipu. He talks about everybody, saying that how great they were. And similarly, if you look in Mahabharata itself, Janamejaya's sacrifice, when that Vasaki's nephew comes there, right, to stop that sacrifice, he also talks great things about Janamejaya's family, how great the Pandavas were, how battle they did, how good Parikshita was, and how great Janamejaya, his brothers are, and all those kind of things he talks about. Similarly, here, Duryodhana talking about, saying that your ancestors were always told the truth, and that's why you are called Artayani. So you are called Artayani because you are a descendant, the descendant of those that the truth had for their refuge. So always told the truth. That's why you are saying Artayani. And since you are like a barbed arrow for the enemies, you are called Shalya. So you are called Shalya because you are like a barbed arrow. You go and for the enemy, and that's why you are called that. You make the Brahmanas large presents at the danas, at the sacrifices. You accomplish all what is virtuous, and whatever you said, you will accomplish. Neither Radha's son nor myself superior to you. Now Duryodhana going one more step. He says that first he said Karna is not superior. Now he said Karna or even me, we are not superior to you in strength. That I would select you as the driver of those motor horses that Karna's chariot is tied. I'm not selecting you, not because of that. However, Karna is superior to Arjuna in regard to many qualities. Even does world regard you as superior to Krishna. So now he is comparing. So there is Arjuna there is Krishna. Duryodhana thinking, if I compare to Shalya to Arjuna, then it's going to be a problem. So he says that Karna is superior to Arjuna and you are superior to Krishna because Krishna is superior to Arjuna, everybody knows, right? So he says that you are superior to Arjuna. Sorry, you are superior to Vasudeva himself. So Karna is superior to Arjuna. So Karna is certainly superior to Arjuna in the matters of weapon. You are too superior to Krishna in the knowledge of horses and the strength. Without doubt, your knowledge in horse is double that what Krishna knows. So, like this, he nicely talks to Shalya. Now Shalya is thinking and he says that since you describe me in the middle of all these troops and the kings and everything, everybody is saying that I am superior to Devaki's son, I am happy with you. So Shalya, with that air pump, whatever Duryodhana did, he bloated and he became very big. He felt great now. He's flying. He thinks that, okay, I am very happy with you. Because you said, I am better than Krishna, Devaki's son. I am happy with you. And now he lost all his pride and everything. Okay, because in front of everybody, he's been said that he's the best among everybody. Right? And Shalya says that I will become the driver of Karna's in this while he's engaged in the battlefield. As you asked me, I will become that. So that Suta, sun, and all those things, the Varna and the classes and the things, that's completely disappeared now from the picture. Okay. So, but Shalya puts one condition. He says that let this be understanding with Karna that I will in his presence utter whatever the speeches I want. I'm not going to sit in the front silently. I'm going to talk. And he should not say anything to me. I will talk whatever that comes to my mind. Okay. So that's the condition Shalya puts. Again, if you remember why Shalya said that, is because you have to go back to Udyoga Parva. In the Udyoga Parva, when Shalya made that promise to Duryodhana, Duryodhana decidefully took Shalya to his side, right? So Shalya made a promise that he will fight on his behalf, but then he comes to Upapalya, where he meets the Yudhishthira and the rest of the Pandavas, and he informs of all the events that took place and says that he is going to fight on behalf of Duryodhana, but he is going to bless him and all those kind of things. While he was leaving that place to Kurukshetra to accompany Duryodhana, support Duryodhana, Yudhishthira asks him one thing. In the battle, at some point, you will become the charioteer of Karna. Yudhishthira knew that this is going to happen. And Yudhishthira asked him, saying that you will become a charioteer of Karna. When you become that, you need to speak of Karna's all his weaknesses in front of him continuously so that you reduce his willpower. If you keep saying that Karna, that arrow did not go well. Oh, come on, you should hit him directly in the chest, not in the arm. That was not very strong. You should do it. Whatever he does, talk negatively of him. That's what Yudhishthira's ask was. And Karna said, I will do that. Right? Sorry, Shalya said that I will do that. So today, when Duryodhana asks him, Shalya says, okay, I will do it because you said I am superior to Krishna, but I will speak my mouth. I will non-stop talking and Karna should not say anything to me. So Shalya still remembered his promise as well. So again, second promise, right? So earlier I said Shalya did not leave Duryodhana because he made a promise. And now he also uses this opportunity to execute that promise he made to Yudhishthira as well. So even though Shalya said that you should not suspect me, there is that. Okay, he's still kind of behind, even though he's fighting here, he's still blessing Yudhishthira from his mind, his heart, he's blessing Yudhishthira. So he tells Duryodhana that I will speak whatever it comes to my mind. He should not speak. And Duryodhana thinks, okay, he's just going to talk. He did not know that Yudhishthira has asked all these things, right? So they agree, and Karna then answered Shalya that whatever you say, that I agree to that. So Shalya agrees to become Duryodhana's charioteer, and that's agreed. Now Duryodhana addresses Shalya once more. He says that Duryodhana says that once more, O Shalya, that listen to what I said, tell you what happened in the battle between Devatas and Asuras in the previously. Great Markandeya Rishi has narrated this to my father. I will now tell you without leaving out anything. I will tell you all that. Listen to the account confidently without mistrusting it at all. So, and don't mistake anything I'm going to say. Listen carefully. I'm going to tell you something what Markandeya Rishi told my father about the battle that took place between the Devatas and Asuras. I will tell you something. So this is an addition here. Okay, Duryodhana still justifying and convincing, even though Shalya agreed, he's still trying to convince why it is important. Even though you are superior, you can still do this kind of things which may be seen as inferior. Okay, he's trying to convince, and Duryodhana narrates a story here. We will quickly look at that story. Between the Devatas and the Asuras, each desiring to defeat one another, there happened a great battle which had Taraka for its route. So Tarakasura was troubling the Devatas, and we know this story from Vanaparva because then we looked at Skanda's birth and how Taraka was killed by Skanda. Right? So Taraka was the route, and there was a battle that was taking place, and Taraka was defeated, and Duryodhana says that it has been heard by us that the Daityas were defeated by the Devatas. So Skanda, Shanmuga defeats, kills Taraka. Right? So that battle Devatas won, and upon when the Daityas were defeated, three sons of Taraka, Tarakaksha, Kamalaksha, Vidyanmalin, they started practicing asterisk penances. With observance high vows, they started penance, and those penance, they emancipated their bodies, completely became thin. They started living on the air and alone, standing on single toe, and things like that. They did all the austere penances. In consequence of their restraint and their penance, their vows and contemplation, Brahma became gratified, and he gave them the boon. And united together, all three of them, Tarakaksha, Kamalaksha, Vidyanmalin, all three of them together, they asked Brahma the boon of immunity from the death. We should not get killed at the hands of all the creatures at all times, like this they asked. And Brahma says that there is nothing like immunity from death at the hands of all the creatures. Whatever you're asking does not exist. Therefore, abstain from such prayers, solicit something other boon that may seem desirable to you. Ask something else. Okay. So ask something else, but not that, saying that don't ask death. So this is the same case with all the Rakshasas, the Daityas, and everybody asked. But they ask finally something else, and then the same kind of discussion goes with everybody saying that I don't want to be killed, I want to be always alive, and blah blah blah, because death is the most fearful thing for anybody, right? Death is the most fearful. If you escape death, then everything can be conquered. So that's the uh, message. So Brahma says that I can't give you that. When Brahma says that, all three again discussed, and then they say that, O Brahma, O grandfather, give us this boon, residing in the three cities which will rove over this earth with your grace ever before us. After 1,000 years, then they will come together, and all three cities will become united into one, and that one Devata who will with one arrow pierces all three cities when it is united into one will cause our destruction. So this is again, they are asking for a innovative way of death. Okay, so You take any daityas, that's it. Okay, I don't want death. I want death like this. Okay. When Brahma says, I can't give you no death option, there is no such thing as no death option. Ask something else. They said, I want death by this and this and this, thinking that that will never happen. Okay. Say Hiranyakashipu said that don't want in morning light or night, okay, outside or inside, weapons of any type, so all those kind of things he said. Then Narasimha came, right? Fulfilling all that. Okay, we see Shumba Nishumba asking for that. I don't want any men or animal and all those kind of things. I don't want death. And then Devi came, right? Female form came because they said females are never strong. I'm okay to fight females if they come against a battle against me. So let my death be from females. So then Devi came and killed them. So similar thing, okay? Ravanas and all those people, okay? Saying that they have weapons from coming with monkeys, for example. Okay, so all those things. So army of monkeys went and killed Ravana. So all these boons they occur similar. Here again, Vidyanmali, Tarakaksha, Kamalaksha, Vidyanmali, they are saying that we want to live in 3 cities, and those 3 cities keep moving around, okay, around the earth. At one after 1,000 years, they all come in one line, and when they are in one line, if somebody able to pierce through all the 3 cities in one arrow, because that's not possible with one arrow piercing through all the 3 large cities when they are united in that time. For example, we see these deserts, Mars and other planets lined up together. Right? Like that here. If all 3 are lined together and you pierce them through one arrow, if somebody does, then that let that be our destruction. Let that be our death. So Brahma says, so be it. Brahma blesses them. Then those asuras, they were living a little bit initially happily. They did not trouble anybody. And after some time, they asked Asura Maya to create these cities, and they got 3 cities, one with gold, built with gold, another one is silver, another one is black iron. So, like these 3 cities were built, the golden city was set in heaven, the silver city was in the sky, and the iron city was on the earth. And all the way they revolve in circle. So each of those cities measured 100 yojanas in breadth, 100 yojanas in length, and like this, they are not small cities, they were very large cities. And they consisted of houses and mansions and lofty walls and porches and various things, gardens and whatever one wishes for. It had everything. Even though it had those lordly palaces and everything else, it still had wide, spacious streets and everything. Okay, it is not just like a congested, like a slum. Okay, where you don't have much space and things like a lot of houses and things like that. Where you go, for example, you see slum, there are just narrow lanes and things like that. It is not like that. It is had a spacious, wide streets and things like that. It was adorned with diverse mansions, gateways, and arches and city. Each of those cities again had a separate king and things like that. It had very good everything it needed. It was like another heaven. And the beautiful city of gold belonged to Tarakaksha, the silver city to Kamalaksha, and the iron city belonged to Vidyunmalin. And these 3 daityas, they were uh, living there and happening. And then gradually they started thinking about conquering everything. And then they managed to, with their energy, they managed to defeat everybody and they conquered all the worlds. And they started with pride because of that luxury they had. They started asking, who who is that creator? We are the creators, we are the controllers. Like this they started. And then when they started doing that, all the Danavas who previously were defeated by the Devatas, they all came in upon millions and millions upon they came and they all settled in those cities. And uh, for them, whatever they needed, Maya became their supplier. Okay, just like Devatas have Vishwakarma to create everything, Maya is Rakshasas. Again, Maya Dhanava, you remember from Kandava Prastha, when at the end of that, Maya was rescued, left out, and from burning, and he helped Pandavas build that in Indraprastha, the palace, Maya Dhanava. So again, Maya here became the supplier of whatever they wanted. If they desired something, they used to get it. Tarakaksha had a mighty son named Hari, and that son Hari went on a very great penance, and he gratified Brahma. And when Brahma was gratified, Hari asked him a boon. He's saying that let a lake start into existence in our city, such that the persons killed by means of weapons may, when thrown into that, come out with life, with redoubled strength. So his boon is very unique again. Okay, he's saying that so his father and everybody they got the boon that their city should align and then only they get killed. Otherwise, there is no death for them. Okay, and now he is thinking his son is even clever. Okay, if that's the case, if in case if they die, something happens, somebody strikes that weapon, I want to revive them. How do I revive? He says that he asks a boon saying that I want a lake, and in that lake, if anybody died because of the weapon, if they put that body in that lake, they should come out again with life and with double the strength what they had previously. So like this, he goes and that lake which is capable of reviving the dead was there in that Tarakaksha's golden city. So whatever the guys, Daityas were dead, they were thrown into that and they came back to life. Like this, it was happened. Daityas began to be very strong and they started to afflict all the three worlds. With their success and of penances, they started creating fears among everybody. Uh, and again, stupefied, then by covetousness and folly and deprived of their senses, they began to shamelessly exterminate the cities and towns and established all over the universe. So everywhere they started to trouble. Filled with pride and boons they have received, they and driving before them at times and at places, the devatas and attendants, everybody they started throwing away. The devatas started running away. The celestial forest, everything was destroyed and overtaken by them. The rishis were harassed by them, and things like the Danavas, they stopped giving respect to anybody. So while the world was afflicted like that, Indra, surrounded by the Maruts, he went to battle against them and he releases his Vajra weapon against them. But that Vajra weapon did nothing to penetrate that city they had because of the boon of Brahma. And with that, Indra got defeated in the battle and he was defeated and his Surga was left to Danavas and he had to run and then finally he goes to Brahmaloka. He goes to Brahmaloka and then he narrates everything saying that narrates everything those are doing, saying that those three fords are to be pierced. How do we do that and what to do, how to get over this? And Brahma then explains that the asuras are all wicked souls and they always said devatas. They that give pain to you always offend me as well. I am impartial to all the creatures. And there is no doubt in this. For that, however, the adharmi, those who are unrighteous, should be killed. This is my fixed woe. Those three, four cities should be killed with a single arrow. So there is nobody else apart from Stanu himself who can do. Stanu is Shiva, Shankara. So that's why, O Adityas, select Stanu, otherwise known as Ishana or Jishnu, to be engaged in this work, and he will destroy those asuras. Like this, Brahma gives the message to Indra and Devatas. So, hearing this, Indra and taking Brahma with him, as Brahma leading them, they go to Kailasa and there they see the Bhagavan seated, and those again accompanied rishis, and everybody goes there with uh, all the words of Vedas praising Bhagavan Shiva there, and then they go there and then they see the universal Paramatma, they see that supreme soul, they see them, the one whom everything is pervaded, that one they see that. Then the devatas, by special penance, they understand him and they go to him and they pray to him. And when that Shankara smilingly he says, welcome and tell us what the object of your visit is. At that time, when Bhagavan Shankara asked this to Indra, Brahma, and other devatas, he asked them. At that time, devatas became very pleased. Their hearts became very easy. Uh, all the pain they had, they forgot about that and they started praying to Shiva. They say that Devadevam Param Sthanam Varadam Trambakam Shivam Sharvam Yedyam Ajam Rudram Shashanka Tamurdhanam Tuštavur Vagbhir Arthyadbir Bhayeshta Abhayakritam Sarvatmanam Mahatmanam Yena Tam Sarvam Atmana Tapo Visheshair Bahuvir Yogam Yo Veda Chatmanah यः सांख्यम् आत्मनो वेद यस्य चात्मा विशेषदा ते तं ददृश ईशानं तेजोराशिम् उमापतिं परेण यत्नेन भवं त्रिदशाः शर्वम् ईश्वरम् अनन्यसदृशं लोके व्रतवन्तम् अकल्मषम् एकं च भगवन्तं ते नानारूपम् अकल्पयन् आत्मनः प्रतिरूपाणि रूपाण्य अथ महात्मनि परस्परस्य चापश्यन् सर्वे परमविस्मिताः सर्वभूतमयं चेशं तम् अजं जगदपतिं देवा ब्रह्मर्षयश्चैव शिरोभिर्धरणीं गताः तान् स्वस्तिवाक्येनाभ्यर्च्य समुत्थाप्य च शङ्करः ब्रूतभूतेति भगवान् स्मयमानो अभ्यभाषत त्र्यम्बकेणाभ्यानुज्ञातः ततस्ते सचेतसः नमो नमस्तेस्तु विभो तत् इत्यब्रवन् भवन् नमो देवा भवन् नमो देवातिदेवाय द्वन्द्विने चातिमान्यवे प्रजापतिमुखघ्नाय प्रजापतिभिर्ईड्यसे नमस्तुताय स्तुत्याय स्तूयमानाय मृत्तिवे विलोहिताय रुद्धाय नीलग्रीवाय शूलिने अमोघाय मृगाक्षाय प्रवरायुराय युधाय योधिने आर्हाय चैव श्रद्धाय क्षयाय कृतनाय च दुर्वारणाय शुक्राय ब्रह्मणे ब्रह्मचारिणे ईशानाय प्रमेयाय नियन्त्रे चर्मवाससे तपोनित्याय पिङ्गाय वृतिने कृत्तिवाससे कुमारपित्रे द्रक्षाय प्रवरायुधारिणे प्रपन्नार्तिविनाशाय ब्रह्मद्विसङ्कटघातिने वनस्पतीनां पदये नराणां पदये नमः गवां च पदये नित्यं यज्ञानां पदये नमः नमोऽस्तु ससैन्याय त्र्यम्बकायोग्राय चेतसे मनोवाक् कर्मभिर्देव त्वां प्रसन्नां भजस्वनः. So like this, Devatas and Brahma, they pray to Shiva. And Shiva, gratified with these orations, he says that, welcome, let your fears be displayed, say what you are here for. And then Duryodhana narrating this to Shalya, he continues, he says that after those fears of those Pitrus, Devatas, Rishis have been dispelled, they tell with Brahman, he adores Shankara and he tells him about all those things. He says that with your grace, I have been creating all the creatures and I have given a great boon to Danavas, and because of that, they are harassing everybody. We seek your protection. Like this, they say, kill those Danavas with your weapons. Like this, Shiva was asked by Brahma and requested by Brahma, and Shiva responds saying that all the enemies should be killed, but I shall not, however, kill them single-handed. I will not kill them going alone. The enemies of the Devatas are possessed of strength. Therefore, all of you united together consume those enemies of yours in the battle with half of my strength. Union is great strength, Shiva says. So Shiva says that you all united together you go, and I will give you half of my strength among all of you. So you go and unitedly and fight them and kill them. So like this Shiva says. And when Shiva says that Devatas, Indra and others says that those Danavas is twice the energy and strength of ours, and also we think that uh, 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 if you are giving half of your energy, we Devatas say that we will not be able to hold that much energy of yours. We do not have the capacity to hold that half of your energy, bear that much energy, strength. We don't have that strength to hold your energy. So our battery capacity is low. That's what Indra and others say. You have a higher capacity. So even if you give half of your things, we cannot hold that among all of us. We cannot hold. So that's what they said. Then Bhagavan says that if that is the case, all of you give your half of your energy and I will kill them. So like this is it. And then Devatas, all of them give their of energy. And because of that, he became from that point, Shankara became known as Mahadeva. He became superior to all in the universe because he got strength of all the other devatas, half of the devatas and rishis and everybody is, he gets that. Again, this is Purana explaining, okay, Puranic story explaining Mahadeva, Brahman, he is everything. Okay, there is no energy less or more in him. So he has everything and he is everything. Okay, so this is just Purana explaining like this. So that's why he became known as Mahadeva. And he says that armed with a bow and an arrow, I will from the chariot kill those enemies of yours. Therefore, O Devatas, bring my chariot and bow and arrow. This very day, I will destroy those asuras. Like this he says. And then Devata says that gathering all forms of that may be found in this world, we will construct a chariot. It will be large chariot with handy work of Vishwakarman and designed with intelligence. It will be like that. And then the Devatas began construction of that chariot. And they made Vishnu, Soma, and Hutasana Agni as the arrows of Shankara for the Shankara's use. They made them the arrows. Agni became the staff, the Soma became its head, and Vishnu became the point on that arrow. So arrow is like this, the staff, the stick that is there, that's the Agni, and Soma became the head of that arrow, and the tip of that is Vishnu. And then Prithvi, goddess Earth, she Prithvi became with its large cities and towns and mountains, forests, islands, everything became the chariot. Mandara mountain became the axle. Ganga became the janga, the middle part of that chariot. Points, the directions, all the directions and the cardinal and subsidiary directions, everything became the ornaments on the chariot. The nakshatras, the constellations became the its a shaft of that chariot. Krita Yuga becomes its yoke, and then the Vasuki became the cover of that chariot, the thread that ties around, and Himavat and Vindhya mountain became the Apaskara and Adhisthana, the thing that actually holds the chariot together from base. And then the Udaya and Asta mountains. Udaya mountain is where Surya comes up in the morning. Asta mountain is where it goes down. So became the wheels of that chariot, and then they make Sagara, the ocean itself, as the axle of that one. And then the seven rishis became the protector of that wheel, so on the sides, and then the Ganga, Saraswati, Sindhu, and the Akasha became the Dura, and then the rivers and all its waters became the cords for the binding of the several limbs of that chariot. And then the day and night, the Ahoratri, they became the divisions, along with the divisions of the times like Kala, Kashta, Muhurta, and things like that, seasons, all of that become Amukarsha. And then the blazing planets, the nakshatras, all of that became wooden fence. And then the Dharma, Artha, Kama united together became the Trivenu. Then the herbs and creepers decked with flowers, fruits became the bells. The morning, Surya and the Chandra, the Chandra and Surya, the Surya and Chandra became the other two wheels of that great chariot. Again, Dina and Ratri, day and night, they became made its auspicious wings on the right and left. The great 10 sarpas, snakes, uragas, starting in Dhritarashtra and others, they became formed the shaft of that chariot. Akasha became the yoke, and the clouds became clouds like the Samvartaka, and Balahaka became the leathern strings on that yoke. The sandhyas, two sandhyas, morning and evening sandhyas, and Dhriti and Medha, Sthiti, Sannati, and the Akasha with nakshatras and the grahas made the skin for the covering of that chariot. Then the regents of the world, Indra, Agni, all those Yama, Varuna, all those the Devatas, Deva Indra, the Varuna, Yama, Kubera, they became the horses of that chariot. Kula, Kalaprishta, Nahusha, Karkotaka, Dhananjaya, and other snakes, they became the cords binding the Pitrus of binding the manes of the horses. So they became the ones that bind the manes of those horses, and the cardinal and subsidiary directions, all the directions, they became the horses of that chariot, reins of the horses of that chariot. The Vedic sound Vashatkara became the god. Gayatri mantra, Gayatri Chandas became the string attached to the god. The four auspicious days, the Parva days, were made the traces of the steeds, and the Pitrus presiding over them made the hooks and pins. The Karma and Satya, the ascetic penance, the Dharma Artha, they made the cords of the chariot. The Manas, mind, became the ground upon which the car stood. The speech, the tracks upon which it was proceeded. So again, all these are explaining, but it is actually, if you look at the Vedanta explain, this completely talks about how a body functions, okay, how this body is built and how it walks and all those controls, things, everything that one should think about the Paramatma, how it should, where Paramatma resides finally is in that body which is made up of all those kind of things, great things. Okay, so each one of those things explain that, but here as a Purana we look at from a explanation point of view, we look as a description point of view. But Vedanta, if you look at that, all this explaining is how a Paramatma resides in a purified, actually where speech and everything is controlled, and the mind is peaceful, and our dharma, artha, kama, all those things are becoming the contributing to that, and all those things. Okay, so then again, continuing this explanation, beautiful banners of various colors waved in the air, the lightning and the rainbow attached to it that became that chariot gave fierce light, and the space of the time which the sacrifice of the Ishana, which has been fixed for a year, became the bow. Goddess Savitri, Devi Savitri, became the loud sound of that bowstring, and the celestial coat of mail was made and decked with costly gems, and impenetrable effulgent sprung from the wheel of Kala himself, time itself, and Meru mountain itself became the flagstaff, and the clouds decked with flashing lightning became the banners. Like this, the chariot shone brilliantly with like a blazing fire in the middle of the priests officiating at the sacrifice. It became like that, and seeing that chariot fully equipped, devatas became filled with wonder. And then after that, best of that great chariot was constructed, Shankara placed upon his own celestial weapons in that, and making the sky as his flagstaff, he placed upon his uh, bovine bull, Nandi on that. And then the Brahmana's rod and the rod of death and Rudra's rod, the fever became the protector on the sides of that chariot and stood on the faces of towards all sides. Atharvana and Angirasa became the protectors of the chariot wheels.
Rigveda, Samveda, Purana stood in advance, and the Itihasas and Yajurveda became the protectors of the raid. And then the sacred speeches and the sciences stood around, and the hymns and the Vedic mantras, the Vashatkaras also, all of them stood around it. The Omkara Pranava sound standing at the front of that chariot made it exceedingly beautiful. And Omkara at the beginning made it beautiful, means Omkara are chanted at the mantras and every prayers, everything started at the beginning. So that's the message here. And having made the year with its 6 seasons as the bow and made with his own shadow a string in that battle, Rudra prepares for that battle. Kalaratri, uh, uh, which is the Rudra shadow, became the string of that bow. As we said earlier, Vishnu, Agni, so Agni and Soma became the arrow. The universe consists of Agni and Soma. The universe similarly said to consist of Vishnu. Vishnu is again the soul of Shiva himself, and for this, the touch of the bowstring became unbearable to the Asuras. And Lord Shankara, casting that arrow of his own and fierce angrily, he became prepared, and that's why he is called Neel Lohita. And that terrible uh, with having wearing that robed skins, looking like thousand suns, he blazed up in that a chariot. And seeing that chariot fully equipped, he cased himself in the mail protection and everything. He took up the bow and the celestial bond, Soma arrow made up of Soma, Vishnu, and Agni. And then Devatas, commanded by the celestials Vayu, started blowing fragrance towards him, and then Mahadeva, he prepares himself, and all the Gandharvas in thousands and rishis and apsaras, everybody started singing his praise. And adorned by all those rishis and praised by all those Gandharvas and danced in front by the apsaras and things like that, he takes up his scimitar, arrow, and bow, and he looked beautiful. And smilingly, he asked the devatas, "Who will become my driver? Who is going to become my charioteer?" And devatas, you think about it and appoint one. When he says that, all the devatas think and they go to Brahma and they ask him to become the charioteer, saying that you are the one who the chariot has been constructed and Shiva is ready, but we need a charioteer and you know everything and you become the charioteer. So again, if one is having Vedanta look, it is again Brahma, that Brahma Jnana, that Jnana, finally the knowledge is the one that's going to that drive everything. So towards moksha. So here again, Devatas requesting, we do not see anybody else who can become the charioteer except you. So that's why you become that. And Brahma agrees and he becomes the charioteer of that. So like this, Brahma was appointed as by the Devatas as the charioteer to Ishana, Shiva himself. And then Shiva and Brahma ascend that chariot, and then they ascend, and then Mahadeva uh, going on that chariot, he as those three cities come together, he strikes the arrow with one arrow. He strikes and he destroys the Danavas and the Tripuras. He destroys, and that's why he became known as Tripurari, the destroyer of the Tripuras. And then Brahma and others, uh, they Devatas praised him, adored him, Devatas worshipped Shiva, and after that Mahadeva went to his Kailasa and all the Devatas went to their places after destroying those Tripuras. So again, as those Tripuras were destroyed, the lake that was formed as well also destroyed, so it became no use. So Devatas became happy and everything was destroyed. Everything, the Daityas were defeated and destroyed. So like this, Shiva riding on that chariot with uh, Brahma as his charioteer destroyed those descendants and followers of Taraka. So this is what Duryodhana narrates, and he says that in consequence of again pressure caused by the weight of Soma and Agni and Vishnu during that battle when Shiva was going on that chariot, the chariot started sinking on the earth, And at that time, Vishnu came in the form of a Narayana, came out in the form of a bull, and he pulled that chariot upwards. And finally, Shiva cuts off. While in that posture, Shiva also cuts off the teats of the horses and the claws of the hoofs of the bull. And from that date, Markandeya narrating this story says that from that date, hoofs of the animals, bovine species, became like a cloven, and the horse became without teeth. So this is again with his Pashupata weapon and that arrow. Shiva burns that Tripuras, and the Tripuras were destroyed. So Duryodhana says that like this, that deity, the creator of the worlds, the lord of both devatas and asuras, Maheshwara, previously destroyed those Tripuras. If the Brahma himself, the creator of the worlds, the grandfather of the worlds, the supreme deity, he acted as the driver. Just like that, you also became the driver of this Karna today. So he says that Brahma, even though he is supreme, he is superior, he became the driver for that achieving that purpose to defeat the Danavas. Just like that, you also became. And there is no, there should not be any slightest doubt that you are superior to Krishna and Karna is superior to Arjuna. There should not be any doubt in this. Just like Karna is just like Rudra and you are like Brahma in the policy. So that's why defeat those asuras of my enemies, the Pandavas. So like this Duryodhana says. And then he also says that upon you depend on the Karna and ourselves and our kingdom and victory and things like that. Everything depends on that. Therefore, you became the charioteer of Karna, and this is the reason. And Duryodhana also says that I will narrate you another story. Listen to me once more. So there was a virtuous Brahmana who recited this to in the presence of my father. I will tell you that as well. So we will look at that story which was narrated by a Brahmana to Dhritarashtra, which Duryodhana listened and he is going to narrate that. Look at that next time. So that's again the story of Parashurama. We'll look at that next time.